Hello everyone and welcome to another game of Squirrels Baseball. We are in Milwaukee and it is AAA day, so let's get all these guys in. Is that everybody? No, we gotta get Michalak in there. I think that's everybody. Just double check. There we go. And we do have Lamosny on the mound. If you remember, he pitched the game of his life, I think, in his last outing. Went a complete game shutout. Only gave up 2 hits, I want to say. Frankly, didn't know he had it in him, but I couldn't take him out of the game. He was pitching so well. But apparently with our new 7-man rotation, that's enough rest for him to bounce back and pitch this game here in Milwaukee. We have not seen the Brewers in some time. They have a different third baseman, and I think that might be it. Bullard's the only one that had been Bill Hall. Or wait, no. Oh, shoot. Because they moved Hall to short. Somebody at third, then Muto was starting. That's what it was. So Muto out. Bullard in. I don't know if that's their draft pick or not. I probably should start looking at these things before the games, but is what it is. Blackburn on the mound. I do believe Nick Blackburn. Not 100% sure about the name, but we'll find out when he comes up to bat. Clippard's going to start things off at the plate today, and he starts off swinging and missing at a changeup, and then a cutter down and away. Another swing and a miss will make it 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 down, here's Michalak. Starts off with strike 1. Slider down and in. Swing and a miss will make it 1-2. And that cutter floats high. Not sure it really cut like it was supposed to. Bloop towards short. Bill Hall makes the catch. Here's Swan at the plate. He looks at a curveball for strike 1 over the outside corner. Pretty similar pitch, but gets a swing and a miss. Hits this one, a line drive into left. That'll get down for the first hit of the game. And that will bring Whiteman to the plate. He'll get a chance to bat left-handed here. Fastball in there for a strike. Popped up. Bullard going after it, but it's going to make the dugout. I've driven by Miller Park before, but I've never been inside Miller Park. Should say I've driven by it several times, but never been to a game there, so I'm not sure which side is the home dugout. Watched enough games, I should probably know that, but I don't remember. Looks like the first base side is home here. Anyway, you saw the lineup we put in. Lamosny on the mound, as I mentioned. And here is Tony Gwynn Jr. to lead off. He's been leading off all year. Lamosny starts him off with the fastball for strike 1. Fastball for a swing and a miss. And this is fouled back. Still 0-2. Gets a swing and a miss on the curveball, strike 3. 1 out, here's Ronnie Cedeno. That slider breaks too far outside. That one's over the plate, 1-1. Curveball put into right field. That's going to get down in front of Awada. 1 on, 1 out for Ryan Braun. Got up to 40 home runs at the moment. And he is always a danger to put it over the fence. He swings and misses at this pitch, but Cedeno able to steal second. Lamosny not a real hard thrower, and Minnick's not a bad arm, but not a great one either. Braun gets a base hit down the left field line. That'll lead to the first run of the game for the Brewers. They'll lead 1-0. Runner on first with 1 out, and Bill Hall at the plate. He will look at strike 1. slider down and away. Swing and a miss, makes it 1-2. This is going to stay fair. It's like a swinging bunt, and it is successful. That's an infield hit for Bill Hall. A weak ground ball right down the third base line. 2 on, 2 outs. Nitro has some power, though he only has 20, I say only, quote unquote, 21 home runs this year so far. Has an 0-2 count, and he will hit this towards the middle, and it will... Oh, it's going to work out. It's going to go down as a fielder's choice. I am not sure Clippard would have gotten the out at first. I think his only play really was to second, and it was not in time. So the Brewers with the bases loaded and only 1 out. Mercado at the plate. Swings and misses. He got a 2-1 count. So Lamosny not exactly picking up where he left off. Mercado now with a 2-2 count. Fouls that one away. We'll try again. Big strikeout. Curveball for a swing and a miss. 2 away. Here is Bullard. We've not seen him yet, so can't tell you anything about him that you can't read for yourself. If he is a new draft pick, he's got some pretty good numbers. He's got an 0-2 count at the moment. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Brewers do take a 1-0 lead after the first, but it could have been much, much worse. So I guess the Squirrels can be thankful about that. Bo Knight's going to lead things off for Indianapolis in the second to try to get that run back. Though Bo Knight not exactly lighting it on fire here in the bigs. As he looks at strike 1. Looks at strike 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 down, here's Minix. Looks at strike 1. Swing and a miss to make it 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 down, here is Iwata. His average is actually up. It took him a while to get that first hit, but now he's hovering right at 200. Has an 0-2 count at the moment. And that curveball too far outside. Ground ball to first. Nitro takes care of that, and that'll end the top of the second. 1-0 Brewers as we go to the bottom of the second. Van Hecken is going to lead things off for Milwaukee. Van Hecken, pretty good numbers for a catcher. Looks at strike 1. And that pitch up and away. Swing and a miss. Makes it 1-2. Called strike 3. 1 down. Here is Blackburn. I was right. Nick Blackburn. Thought that sounded right, but should have said it more confidently. Although I've been wrong when I've been pretty confident before too, so maybe it's good I showed some caution. Blackburn strikes out, looking on a curveball. 2 away, 5 strikeouts for Lamosny, the first time through the Brewers' order. Gwynn was one of those strikeouts. He grounds back out to Lamosny in this at-bat, and that'll end the third. Much less traffic there. Huesman's going to lead things off for the Squirrels in the third. The Brewers still leading 1-0. Huesman batting .250, one of the better AAA averages. Looks at strike 1. Swings and misses to make it 0-2. And a pop foul. Van Hecken is able to get there for the out. That'll bring Lamosny to the plate. He does not have a hit in the majors this year. Like I said, that's one thing this game I kind of wish it did, but it does not. I don't have any idea what his AAA numbers were. He's got a 1-2 count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 away, we're back up to Clippard. So I get that frog out of my throat. Clippard struck out in his first at-bat, 1 of 4 for Blackburn, the first time through the order. 1-1 count in this at-bat. Clippard looks at a slider for strike 2. Up and in. Swings at one that I think would have been ball 3, but instead it's a soft liner to short for the last out of the inning. Brewers still ahead 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Ronnie Cedeno is going to lead things off. Cedeno got a hit and do believe he came around to score the only run of the game. Has an 0-2 count in this at-bat. Swing and a miss, strike 3. One down, here's Ryan Braun. Yeah, that's right. Cedeno stole second, and then Braun got the base hit into left to knock him in. To which the Brewers then would load the bases, but couldn't push another run across. So they really could have been much worse for Lemosny than it was. He should feel pretty good about only being down 1. He gets Braun to ground this one foul, so we'll try this again. 1-2, 1 away, base is empty. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 down, here is Bill Hall. He also got a hit in his first at-bat. Looks at strike 1. Swing and a miss to make it 0-2. Up the middle, that'll be another base hit. Here is Nitro. He hit a ground ball that, like I said, he might have gotten robbed of a hit there. I don't think Clippard would have gotten him at first if he'd thrown it. But he threw to second and still didn't get an out. And he's got an infield hit here. Swan did not have the arm to get that throw over in time. 2 on with 2 outs. And here is Mercado at the plate, who looks at strike 1. Looks at strike 2. High fastball. Mercado does not chase it. This one down and away, and again Mercado lets it go. 2-2. There's a strike on the inside corner for a called strike 3. We go into the 4th inning. The Squirrels still trailing 1-0, and they will have Michalak at the plate to start things off. As we enter the middle innings here, Michalak lined out in his first at-bat. He looks at strike 1. Hits this one towards the middle, and it will get through for a base hit. A leadoff single brings Swan to the plate. Got a base hit in his first at-bat. Swings and misses at a fastball. He was pretty well behind it. Hits this one in the air. Van Hecken is going to go grab it and foul ground down the first base line. 1 on, 1 out for Whiteman, who also lined out in his first at-bat. Looks at a strike on a slider. And that cutter too far outside. Called strike on another cutter down at the knees. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 down, Bo Knight struck out in his first at-bat. That curveball too far inside. And a fastball up and in. It's a 2-0 count. Bo Knight swings and misses. Looks at strike 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Brewers leading 1-0. Bullard is going to lead things off for the Brew Crew. Bullard struck out in his first at-bat. Looks at strike 1 here. Ground ball, it's foul. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 down, here's Van Hecken, who struck out looking in his first at-bat. Line drive, but it's going to hook foul in left field. So a bit low, maybe a bit inside. And that curveball down and away. 2-1. Swing and a miss will make it 2-2. Looks at strike 3. 2 down, and here is Blackburn to the plate. Struck out in his first at-bat. Looks at strike 1. Looks at strike 2. Swings and misses for strike 3. We move into the 5th inning. It's still a 1-0 Brewers lead. Minix is going to start things off for the Squirrels. Minix struck out in his first at-bat and looks at strike 1 here. That curveball bounces in. There's a called strike on a backdoor curve. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 down. Here is Iwata, who ground out in his first at-bat as he looks at strike 1 on a curveball. Swings and misses to make it 0-2. That one will bounce in. Iwata lays off. Hits this one, but it's not going to get over Hall's head for the second out. And here's Huseman, who fouled out in his first at-bat. Looks at strike 1. That's going to drop in for a base hit into shallow right center. 2 outs and Lamosny at the plate, though. Struck out in his first at-bat. The pitch up and away. Ground ball to second, Cedeno to first, and that'll end the inning. Well, still 1-0 Brewers as we go to the bottom of the 5th, where Tony Gwynn Jr. will lead things off. See, Lamosny's starting to wipe his brow. We'll see if we can get 2 innings out of him. Gwynn looks at strike 1. That slider a bit high. See, we're hoping for a lot of quick outs now. Lamosny, though, up to 11 strikeouts already as he sails that fastball. That one's in the zone, 2-2. Popped up, Huseman in front of second, makes the grab. 1 down, here comes Ronnie Cedeno, who is 1 for 2. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Swings and misses at the second pitch. That curveball didn't quite get back down. Tries a slider this time and gets a swing and a miss. 2 away, and here's Ryan Braun, who is 1 for 2, and I think has the only RBI in the game. So he looks at strike 1. Hits this one into left, but it's going to hook foul. 0-2. Doesn't go chasing that one. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that will end the 5th inning. So we'll go to the 6th. Clippard's going to lead things off for the Squirrels. It's still a 1-0 Brewers lead. Clippard 0 for 2 today. So he, I think, does have the highest batting average of all the AAA guys by a wide margin, hitting .344. Grounds this one to short. Cedeno actually looked a little unsure, but he did get the out. I'll bring Michalak to the plate. He's been perfectly serviceable. Hitting .226 so far. Looks at strike 1. Looks at strike 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Here comes Swan. He is 1 for 2 on the day as he looks at strike 1. Up and in, does not flinch. Here's a called strike 2. And this one's down and out. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Quick 6th inning for the Squirrels. Still a 1-0 Brewers lead. They've got Bill Hall coming to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th. Lamosny's gassed, but we're going to see if he can get through this inning. Hall 2 for 2 on the day, though neither ball hit hard. That might change here. We'll see. Looks at strike 1. That one out of the zone. Swing and a miss to make it 1-2. Line drive right on the line. Hall is 3 for 3 on the day. Nitro at the plate then. He is 1 for 2, though he's been on base both times. He should be 2 for 2. Yeah, I don't think I can lean on Lamosny anymore. Let's keep this to where they can at least pretend to get this done. Go with McNichol and it could potentially be 3 innings. Oh, no, well, he'll get pinch hit before that, I guess. Anyway, Mercado struck out in both at-bats so far. Nichols starts him off with the fastball for strike 1. Another fastball just misses outside. The palm ball looked a little wonky out of the gate. So he throws a fastball, gets put into left. It will score a run, it appears. The Brewers go up 2-0. That'll be charged to Lamosny. Bullard at the plate. Hits a ground ball. This could be 2. Whiteman to second. Peaceman back to first, not in time. Here's Van Hecken. 1 out and runners on the corners. Brewers up 2-0 at the moment. That palm ball is called a strike. It's not quite Jonathan's palm ball, is it? Bounces in that fastball. It's 2-1. And that's another base hit in the left and another Brewers run. 3-0 Brewers. Runners on first and second. We do have the pitcher spot up who's showing bunt. He will be, well, they're actually going to throw to first. Probably should have tagged him as it turned out, but 2 away. Tony Gwynn Jr. to the plate. Runners on second and third, and Gwynn looks at strike 1. This one a bit outside. Swing and a miss, makes it 1-2. Doesn't chase that one, 2-2. Called strike 3 on a high fastball. The Brewers score 2 to make it 3-0, although those runs are all charged to Lamosny. We'll go to the 7th inning, where Whiteman will lead things off for the Squirrels. Whiteman 0 for 2 today. As he looks at strike 1. Grounds this one foul. Swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt. 1 down. Here's Bo Knight, who struck out in both at-bats so far today. His average down to 100. As he looks at strike 1. Swings and misses to make it 0-2. Cutter, I don't think went where Blackburn wanted it. That fastball was better, but fouled away. 1-2. Popped up. Van Hecken waiting for it, and he makes the catch. 2 away. Here's Minix, who has struck out in both at-bats so far. As he looks at strike 1. Up and away. Down and away. 2-1. Here's a called strike to make it 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That brings us to the 7th inning stretch. The Brewers leading 3-0, and they will start off with Cedeno on the other side. Here is Cedeno. He is 1 for 3. Got a hit and scored in his first at-bat, but struck out in the 2 since. And he has a 1-1 count to start this at-bat. Grounds this one to Foe. It gets through the right side of the infield. I thought Whiteman was going to have that. That's another hit, and that'll bring Ryan Braun to the plate. He also got a hit in his first at-bat and then struck out twice. He had the RBI hit to open the scoring in this game. There's a called strike. 2-1. Ground ball to Clippard. He goes to second. Huseman back to first. In time. 4-6-3. Double play. Bill Hall, 3 for 3 on the day. His last one was his hardest hit ball. That's just a pop up to the pitcher, and that will be caught for the last out of the 7th inning. So we go into the 8th. Owada is going to lead things off. I might let McNichol hit here. We'll see what happens. Owada starts things off with a pop-up behind second. Cedeno makes the grab. Huseman is 1 for 2. Looks at strike 1. Swings and misses to make it 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Yeah, I think I'm going to let McNichol hit. No reason to use another arm. He will look at strike 1. I do believe this is his first ever major... Well, that might not be true. He might have started a game before. I can't remember for sure. Probably not, though. He strikes out. Pretty predictable. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Nitro is going to start off for the Brewers, who are up 3-0. As mentioned, McNichol will stay on to pitch. Nitro officially 2 for 3. So I think he probably ought to have been credited for a hit in that first at-bat. Has an 0-2 count in this at-bat. Strike 3 on the inside corner, so now he definitely is not perfect on the day. Mercado, 1 for 3, couple strikeouts and then singled in his last at-bat. Hits a ground ball here to Clippard. 2 away. And here's Bullard, who is 0 for 3. Ground ball to short, Huseman to first, and we will go to the 9th inning. Squirrels need 3 runs to stay alive, and they've only gotten 3 hits all day. They are back to the top of their order for whatever that means. The Brewers are going to turn to Aaron Heilman, who I assume is their closer. Clippard is 0 for 3. Hits another ground ball, and Cedeno will take care of that. 1 down. Here is Michalak. He's 1 for 3 today. So he looks at strike 1. Looks at strike 2. Ground ball to third. Bullard on to first. And the Squirrels down to their last out. Swan is 1 for 3 on the day. He gets a base hit into right field. This game not quite over yet. Here comes Whiteman, who is 0 for 3 so far. Looks at a fastball right down the middle. And that splitter too low. Hits this one right back up the middle. So we got a little bit of intrigue here. The tying run comes to the plate in the form of Bo Knight, whose average has dropped to 97. That's not going to do the trick. Nitro makes the catch. And your final score today, Indianapolis Squirrels 0, Milwaukee Brewers 3. And, you know, it's the cost of getting these guys experience, so won't grumble too hard. I'm sure they're all doing their best. I might have to start doing more lineup changes, although they've only got another couple games to actually play in. All right, Ryan Braun is your player of the game. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you'd like to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, feel very free. Otherwise, we'll have Game 2 here in Milwaukee tomorrow. We will see you then.